Welcome to the Tale of Inner Journey. Today, the interview will be with a very special person. And I request all of you to watch this interview attentively and listen to what this man has to say very clearly. If possible, my request is try to watch this in one sitting. There's something very special about this interview. Subtle ways, there are certain things might happen in very subtle ways. So be very attentive, watchful, listening with awareness. If anything starts to happen within, notice that. It's a very important process because the man whom we are going to speak to, listen to, is very special. He is a practicing psychiatrist in America, and he has been a sannyasin in the Osho order for many years, 40 plus years or more than that. I don't exactly know the number. We might get the information later on, but he has been on the path for such a long time, and he has managed both the worlds, spiritual and the psychiatric world and the meditation world, both very beautifully. And I personally had the privilege to study with him 6 years ago when he came to Mysore to do the workshop on Bardo. Probably in the second part of this video, we will talk to him about Bardo also. But this part itself is very special, very beautiful. And I will request all of you to listen to this very deep process. It's really a wonderful process. Whatever happens, just let it happen and allow these things to happen. And if you start noticing any special things, you can reach him or you can write to us and comment in the comment section, and also write email to us personally. We will take it to him and we will see what we can do with that. And please don't forget to share this interview with three of your friends who are interested, because something this is very special. So this, I'm emphasizing on this because it's rare. Hopefully something will shift in what it is. Thank you again and welcome to Tale of Inner Journey.
A couple of years ago.
Yes.
And then I had COVID for 2 months, just starting in August.
Yes.
And it was like the meditation retreat that I would never give myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I like dropped to just a deeper level inside.
Yeah.
And it's like if I was watching my thoughts and feelings from 2 feet away before, now they're 30 feet away.
Whoa.
And all the colors are brighter. People look different. My sensitivities to subtle energies is tremendously better. And most important of all, one day I had this experience that everything is perfect. Existence is doing what it's doing, and that I don't have to fix it. And I realized in that moment that I'd spent my whole life feeling that there was something wrong with the world that I had to fix. And with this, there's been a tremendous relaxation and the sense that if there's anything I'm supposed to do, it'll come to me. I don't have to think about it or do it. It'll come to me. So that's kind of the essence of what happened to me during COVID.
Wow. At one point, I would say, I'm sorry to hear that, but I can't say that now. I don't want to. I feel like goosebumps all over my body. It's like so wonderful that what you have gone through. It's like everybody is looking for it, asking for it, and you have, my goodness, it's such a wonderful blessing in a way.
I've been a sannyasi 46 years now.
Wow. My
And
God.
my first meeting with Osho,
Mm-hmm.
I looked at him, he looked at me. I felt like I'd known him forever. I
Oh,
crawled across the floor laughing and crying. And I touched his foot. And he
yeah.
said, come closer, Bodhicitta, touch the other foot. I've been waiting for you.
Oh,
Then he touched my forehead. And there were like 3 explosions of light inside me. And I knew in a moment
mm,
that everything that I thought I was just like a postage stamp on a huge envelope. That whatever I thought was love was like a cup full in the ocean. And that it was all over forever.
oh,
Just a few more details. I looked up through my tears and he says, how long are you here for, Bodhicitta? I said, the family, the state of India, and New York all think 4 weeks, but if you have any other ideas, let me know, I'll take care of the details. He
uh-huh.
laughed. And he said, now neither the family nor the state nor the government have any control over you. You're serving a higher power. Then he said, has anybody, have you done any groups in the West? I said, I did all the groups.
Mm-hmm.
And he laughed again. He said, anybody who's connected with therapy, psychoanalysis, Gestalt is doing my work.
Mm-hmm.
Awaken the thirst that only I can satisfy.
Wow.
Then I said, I love you so much.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, eat me,
Mm.
drink me, breathe me, nourish yourself. You're part of my family.
Oh God. I have tears now.
It's been all over since that moment. And my inquiry has been, what is this? How do I know this higher power? And what is this family that I'm a part of?
Mm.
And at this point, I realized there's nothing I can say about that. It's not a set of labels, or it's what's happening to my being. That more and more, it's an experience of this is happening. There's no I doing it. And that happening is being in tune with whatever the higher power is. I
Yes.
can't put labels on it or know it as an object. I just have to relax and there it is.
What a moment for me now, because I'm like, I can't believe that I'm sitting in front of you and you're talking this, and it is like, wow.
The most important thing I can share with
Yes.
whoever is going to view this
Yes.
is when I met Chinmaya,
Yes.
Swami Yoga Chinmaya,
Yog Chinmaya. Yeah.
in 1986 in
Mm-hmm.
Kathmandu,
Mm-hmm.
he said to me, Bodhicitta, I can offer you intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt in that moment that this man had everything I wanted with Osho, but couldn't get close enough to. So
Yes.
I went home and tore up my tickets back to America. I
Oh.
said, we're staying in Nepal to be with Chinmaya. One time I asked him around 10 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
Swami, when I'm with you,
Mm-hmm.
how much is Osho and how much are you in the way?
Mm.
And he said to me, Bodhicitta, there's nobody here. It's all Osho. So that's who Chinmaya was.
Wow.
This is preface so that people can understand this next comment. About 20 years ago, he said to me on a rooftop in Munsiari in the Himalayas,
Mm-hmm.
Osho is as available today as both an energy and a moment-to-moment guiding intelligence as he was in the body. And so many seekers act as if Osho is dead.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of thoughts or ideas or texts. The question is how to relax enough, how to tune in enough
Yes.
so that presence that we label as Osho,
Mm-hmm.
it's there. How to allow it to
Yeah.
manifest in each one of us
Yes.
is the seeker's job. Not to try and figure out what he is,
Yes.
open up and allow it to mysteriously happen through us.
Yes. That means my question will be immediately. There are so many questions, but what is that which is the barrier to open up, to relax? Why we don't relax?
I don't know everything. The little
Yes.
that I know, it's our animal nature.
Mm-hmm.
This mysterious energy that we call consciousness, love, life,
Mm-hmm.
all mammals especially, but you can see it in birds, reptiles too. They're built on the idea of me and you.
Yes.
The baby feels complete when it's in the egg or in the womb.
Mm-hmm.
So birth or hatching is the huge trauma where all of a sudden you're separated from the energy of me and mommy.
Mm-hmm.
And all animals continually look for their mother
Yes.
because then the energy happens.
Yeah.
And that hard wiring, you can see it physically in the nervous system or more subtly in the minds of
Yes.
that's the root of the ego, me and you.
Yes.
And the whole journey of being a meditator is to realize if you let that stuff go, you're one with existence. That God is within you and without you. That's what it means to be a member of Osho's family, that you're nobody and everything. So the big barrier is your whole animal past that thinks, I need you to feel love. And what happens in meditation is gradually realizing love is happening without you being there. And I'm not very necessary also. It's just a set of ideas which I can let go of. My understanding of Osho's way is it's basically tantric, that it's let go is the way.
Yeah.
Whatever's there, you're not it. And his main technique, and he has said this in so many words, he says, my discourses are my main method. All my other methods are for those who can't listen. So I would urge everybody to listen to Osho every day, as I have for 46 years. It sounds, the understanding is different
Yes.
each time I listen.
Yes. Yes.
I've heard the same discourses 5, 10 times.
Yeah.
And layer after layer of block disappears. And I say, he said that? You know, the understanding gets deeper and deeper.
Yes.
And it's not an effort. It's letting go of efforts. Like the last thing Swamiji said to me is relax in being. Stop doing. Live in non-duality.
Wow. Yes.
All thinking is a doing.
Mm-hmm.
You can't think away a thought because, like the Zen guys say, that's like wiping out blood with a blood-stained rag.
Yes, yes, yes.
My essential instruction from Osho,
Yeah.
after my first darshan, I wrote him a letter saying, touching your foot the other day was the absolute pinnacle of my life. How can I touch your foot every day? Can I live under your bed?
Creepy.
And he wrote back, let go is the way.
Oh, wow,
So
yes.
that's been my essential practice for 46 years. Let go.
Oh,
And in technical terms, that means that anything that's been an object of mind, any touch, any feeling, etc., that's not it. Just relax and watch it. And gradually, the sense of effort of watching is also disappearing. And trusting that the watching happens. But at the beginning, there is a sense of effort. So a lot of people make the big mistake of imagining that if I don't do anything, it'll happen. At the beginning, there a sense of effort for a long time.
Yes.
He talks about this most clearly in Vedanta, 7
Mhm.
steps
Seven
samadhi.
steps of samadhi. Yeah.
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 And probably my favorite at the moment set of discourses for describing the whole journey is Atisha's The Book of Wisdom,
Mm-hmm.
where he makes it really clear that meditation is 24/7.
Yeah.
And that the two practices to be in meditation all the time are to be aware of your breath at all times, as a let go, going down into the pelvis, not as an effort of breathing, but as realizing that you're holding your breath. And if you relax and let go, it goes all the way down and you're aware of it. And the other all the time practice is to remember that everything that comes to mind, every thought, feeling, concept, you're just the observer, just the audience, just the watcher.
Mm-hmm.
And I find I can put that in plain English for
Yes.
even my simplest patients, that people get it.
Yes. There is something happening now. I have heard these times, many times. Just watch, let go. But as I'm sitting in front of you listening, I'm shaking inside. My body is like going like this. Because I have heard Osho talk so many times, or many times I'm repeating those words in my head. But when you say it right now, I'm vibrating. Can you see what's happening or anything that you can say about that?
The communion is more bottom up than top down.
Uh-huh.
Our whole culture imagines that it's the words and concepts first. The actual communication amongst beings is in any communion.
Mm-hmm.
How does a baby know that's my mother?
Mm-hmm.
How does a little child know that's a dangerous dog, I shouldn't go, or that's a friendly dog, I can touch it? We all feel and respond to the energy in this ocean of vibrations.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the things that's even more fantastic is with remote viewing like this, with Zoom or Skype, I can feel people's energy in India, in Europe, in South America. I have friends. So it's not that it's going through the internet, it's
No.
that somehow looking at each other establishes a psychic communion, which is beyond time and space.
Yes.
And that's part of the mystery of tuning into what Osho is now.
Hmm.
When I left India, I was
Mhm.
living in the Himalayas with Chinmaya from
Yes.
1990 till about 2007.
Mhm.
And then my wife developed cancer.
Mhm.
I had to come back to America.
Yeah.
And Chinmaya said to me, "You're at the point now where you carry the commune with you. There's no separation." And much to my surprise, because the mind always lags behind the fact, I was still worried that I'm going to miss it. But my
Yes.
experience was that here it is. That
Mhm.
when I'd go back to India each year of being it wasn't that different.
Yeah.
And I remember I was leaving, visiting him in Goa about 5 years ago. And the taxi was outside. I was touching his foot and weeping. And he
Hmm.
said, "Bodhicitta, there's no separation."
Hmm.
So the shaking inside you is the communion that's happening between us
Yeah.
and probably those who are going to view this.
Yes.
You know,
Experience some magic.
yeah.
Wow. Oh, I'm so fortunate. And as you said, you were touching his feet and weeping, and he said there is no separation. How beautiful is that to hear that from the master? And when you are like, yes, because my mind still says, yes, I'm going away. It is still in the physical plane, time, everything. But when he says that there is no separation, it's like, wow, that kind of shifts and creates an understanding and says, yes, why I am weeping now. It's so beautiful. My God. In fact, I met Bodhicitta after you suggested me to go and meet him. I met Yoga Chinmaya in Goa. Uh, it was a very painful experience for me. And it took me 6 months to realize what he was aiming at, what he was trying to communicate. And 6 months later, I realized it one day and I had like suddenly tears and I didn't know why I'm crying.
Wow.
It hit me and I was like, wow, this is why he took so much time to me, effort, and sat with me for an hour and a half, spoke to me elaborately. All I did was become angry with him. So it started layer by layer, opening and telling me what it was all about, the meeting with him. It was so beautiful. I can understand when you say, he said there is no separation. Yes, it is true. It is so beautiful. I'm amazed with that because what I'm experiencing now is probably what you experienced with him in a bigger way or a deeper way. I feel so thrilled. Maybe I should keep talking, otherwise I'll start crying.
You're the interviewer. I'm just waiting.
Okay, I will do my job. I'll try. When did you come to India first time? I'll have to find the
19,
process.
October 1976.
76. Did you come to specially for Osho or?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I had. Did you know of Swami Krishna Saraswati?
Yeah, I heard about him. Yeah.
he was this wonderful, very tricky, unrepressible Indian Swami who had taken sannyas like in 1970. Osho had gone to his apartment to tell him in Bombay, and he was the first divine healers.
Yeah.
Osho married him to Ma Yoga Pratima, who was a very wealthy, 6-foot-tall American woman from Florida. And Krishna was about 5'6". Well, she moved in with my yoga teacher in Larchmont, New York. And the yoga teacher called me and said, there's somebody I think you might want to meet. And I fell in love with Krishna. And he basically brought me to Osho over a couple of year period. So I had already taken sannyas in America before coming to India.
And how was India at that time when you came to? I think it was Pune when you came.
We flew into Bombay. I'll never forget that. You come out of the air and there's like a wall of people outside the glass window trying to carry your bag or put you in a taxi.
Yeah.
3 of us got in this little taxi and driving through the streets of Bombay where there's still lots of cows on the street and stuff. It was just like, what world am I in? And as soon as I got to the front gate, I just had this feeling of a cloud of energy, like I'm home.
Yeah. It's so wonderful.
Yeah. And after my first darshan that I just told you about, I had so much energy that I had to massage people or I would get hives on my hand. I went back to the Mobos Hotel where I was staying. The staff started treating me. They would touch my feet, give me a special table in the corner. I would weep 2-3 hours a day. It was like layers and layers of old karma, of old pain were just dissolving. And the song Amazing Grace kept playing in my head.
For a beginner who wants to come into meditation or try something new, is there anything that you would suggest for them to start with or do so that they can get into that experience of meditation?
The two practices I described to you, Atisha's, to keep you in awareness all the time. At least one cathartic meditation a day. I did dynamic or something like it almost every day for 17 years. And Osho says again at the beginning, anything done totally, you're in meditation. So if you're a runner, if you're a swimmer, if you're especially a dancer, to just be totally in whatever you're doing, meditation will happen. And then for the evening practice, listen to an Osho discourse. I don't know which are the best ones in Hindi. He always wanted people to start with Tantra, the supreme understanding.
Yes.
That would be the one that he had translated into foreign languages first. The supreme accomplishment is to realize immanence without hope. That means relax into your being. Hope is all the past projected into the future. If you're just here, that's the supreme accomplishment. Listening to his discourses is his main method. My other English favorites, the Book of Wisdom with the
Mhm.
T-shirt, because
Yes,
that encompasses both the path of meditation and the path of wisdom
yes.
and the later path of active compassion.
Hmm.
Tisha had three masters.
Yeah.
And if you listen to the Book of Wisdom, you can get Osho transmitting all the paths.
Hmm.
Now, Osho's favorite discourses on the path of love are the
Mhm.
Unio Mystica.
Yes. Yes.
And on the path of meditation, his favorite or purest is Sin Sin Ming.
Uh-huh. Yeah. 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 Yes.
But it's thanks to Osho World, it's all available for nothing on the
Yes.
web.
On the web. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that, you know,
You can start
those are
with
your beginning steps.
yes. Yeah.
And the three layers first start becoming aware of your actions.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, hopefully you'll stop making a movie out of your life where you involve other characters, because that never goes anywhere.
Mm.
If you're upset and you get somebody to fight with you,
Yeah.
it, it keeps it going. But if you just watch your upset and your desire to get somebody to fight with, eventually you can drop back to watching the thoughts
Mm-hmm.
and then the feelings. The intention
Mm.
is even deeper than the feelings.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And that's where karma is. It's somehow coded in intention, which can manifest as a feeling, as a thought, as an activity, or just kind of stay there as a seed. You can't not have your intention. You can only manifest it and watch it and finish it. Intention is another name for karma, for something that you have to do.
Mm-hmm. Can you
People,
speak a
go ahead,
little?
go ahead.
No, no. Can you speak a little bit about the intentions, because that caught my mind, because when you said intention is deeper than feelings, can you elaborate on that a little bit more?
In the Tantra Vision number 5,
Mm-hmm.
volume 2, he describes the 4 states of mind that classically are called the 4 mudras: the
Mm-hmm.
karma mudra, the gyan mudra, the samai mudra, and the mahamudra.
Yeah.
The karma mudra is when you're like any animal, you're totally identified with what your mind is doing with the organism.
Yeah.
Most ordinary meditation, all drug trips, peak experiences get you into the Gyan Mudra, where you are aware that you're aware of your thoughts, you're aware of your actions, but you're not them.
Mm.
To go from there to the deeper level of the Samai Mudra,
Mm-hmm.
to be in timelessness, needs watching the watcher, being aware of anything that's a sense of self, instead of being aware of the objects of mind,
Mm-hmm.
aware of what imagines it's aware of the object. All of a sudden, it happens that more and more the Samai Mudra becomes the mode of living,
Mm.
where there's a sense of happening, that I'm not doing it, it's just aware of what's happening here. like right now, there's this awareness that this is talking, this is happening, but there's nobody doing it. That's living in the third level, in the Samai Mudra.
Yeah.
Intentions are coded somehow in that level, before mind, before thought, before feeling. The fourth level, the Mahamudra, I've only had glimpses, I think, where there's this total oneness with existence, where the harmony is so complete that there's no intention anymore, because you're just totally part of the ocean.
Yes.
So intention is like a concept about the deepest level where there's still a self that's separate from everything. That's how I use the word.
Yeah.
And I'm still working as a psychiatrist. I'm 86 years old. And what I've come to see, in one of my clinics, we do this kind of work where we do ketamine therapy. And it's not the story that the guy tells.
Yeah.
It's not how bad your life is or what your symptoms are, or anything like that. I can feel the person's intention as a wave of energy in the heart center. If they want to heal, if their intention is to heal, the treatment will work. If they're just talking about it and there's no intention, it doesn't work.
So true. This is so true. Yes. Can I ask something about
anything, man?
COVID. Because I have been thinking of this COVID situation since it started. One of my thinking process was, this virus is exactly like the mind. It gets into the system and it destroys the system. It tries. But to get into the system, somewhere I have to allow that. Otherwise, it cannot enter me. Because it's a foreign body, foreign object, foreign entity in a way, or whatever I want to call it. But it's somehow, I allow that I invite that unconsciously, probably. It gets into me and it exactly behaves like the mind. You cannot do anything with it, but you can only disconnect from that. Is that how it works, or am I just making up stuff in my head?
These are very mysterious times.
Yeah.
And people like to make explanations out of old thoughts, so that, the mind is continually making explanations.
The way I did it right now.
What I am sure about is that mankind has to go from an expanding to a steady state species, or else billions of people are going to die horrible deaths, because there are more of us making more garbage and using more stuff on the planet than the planet can manage.
Yeah.
So this is the greatest transition time in the history of mankind.
Yes.
Osho has talked about it in 100 ways. His whole idea of the new man is, unless we evolve to a different way of being with each other, we're going to destroy ourselves and the planet. Now, I sense a tremendous wave of transition happening all over the planet. People are no longer sure about the past. They realize it's finished. the future isn't going to be an extension, a continuation of it.
Hmm.
They then seek for explanations or somebody to blame. I have seen such confrontations within people and families breaking apart, organizations, countries conflicting in ways. The tensions were always there, but it's been amped up.
Yeah.
The deepest explanation I've heard is that there's a wave of change happening everywhere at every level.
Hmm.
My son, who's
Mhm.
been a assassin for 30 years and who has some powers that really blow me away,
Hmm.
just says that we're being bombarded by energies from other stars and such
Yeah.
that are changing every organism on the planet. That the COVID epidemic is one of the symptoms
Hmm.
of change of how every organism is being mutated,
Oh,
changing.
okay.
And I don't believe any of the stories about it being designed by people who are out to control humanity and stuff,
Hmm.
nor do I think that the vulnerability to it is a part of one's mind.
Yeah.
Each organism has a different vulnerability depending on so many,
Hmm.
factors we can conceive, how weak the immune system is and stuff like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay.
But at the beginning of it,
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting next to a patient in one of these ketamine sessions where people go into a very deep trance.
Yeah.
And this vision, and I hold people's hands and I like have an energy communion with them during the session. And this vision came to mind that my past and future were like a map and they crumbled up and disappeared. And I was like this character in the Lao Tzu, a little old man crossing a stream in winter, step by step, very cautiously and very aware, because you don't know where you've been and where you're going. You only know the next step.
Yeah.
And this has been my basic suggestion to people about how to navigate these times. Be as aware as possible in the moment. Let go of the past. Don't overthink the future. It'll come to you what to do, and that will make the future.
That's such a beautiful image you painted now. Lao Tzu's old man. Winter time, just taking each step one at a time with such awareness and responsibility. So that's all we can do exactly, right? Wow.
And the mind wants to make a story about it and
Exactly.
a plan. Because if you've got the right story, then you can make the right plan. Forget it. We can't. We're helpless.
Yes. And also, we all know how the plans crumple down, all the plans. So that's
There's a whole bunch of new age people
uh-huh.
who say, oh, it's a wave of transformation. There's a plan someplace that's being happened and stuff like that. I don't know.
True. Yeah.
There are three basic kinds of explanations.
Hmm.
The materialist one that says this is because of that.
Yes.
And builds on the past to explain the future. The second kind of explanation is the synchronicity. This is happening because we're all getting in tune right now. And the third kind of explanation is there's a plan, a map, someplace that we're fulfilling. We're going towards it.
Mm-hmm.
All explanations fall into one of these three categories. whether you're talking physics or spirituality.
Yes, 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 yes.
But what I hear Osho saying is that existence is an undefinable, unknowable mystery that the mind cannot know
Mhm.
what's happening. You can only get in tune with what's happening.
So it is better to just leave it and
Right.
don't think too much about it and take one step at a time.
Exactly what I'm
Yes.
hoping to live each moment.
And also, actually, it makes it easier. So,
That's
yeah.
another thing I've come to understand more and more deeply,
Mhm.
that any making yourself suffer, worry about what did happen, what's happening to somebody else, or what might happen in the future takes you away from enjoying the present, from being where you're at. I had a young man last night who's been a patient of mine for 6 years. He's about 11. And he was admitted to a psychiatric hospital because he was thinking of suicide.
Mhm.
And I really love this kid. And I found myself asking again, is it going to help him for me to feel bad because he's in the hospital?
Mm.
No. And so much of people's suffering is self-inflicted.
Yeah.
Because we imagine that if I make myself suffer, it'll make it better. And this comes from our animal past. Because the baby, when it's separated from its mother, makes itself suffer.
Yes.
And then mommy takes care of it. So we're all hardwired to feel bad in order to get taken care of, that somebody or something will fix it. But when you really get it, that, hey, dude, you're just making yourself suffer. It's not going to make anybody make it better. You can gradually let it go.
To realize that is so important. I've been still behaving like an animal. I've been conditioned. I've been programmed. I'm living that programming. My God, it's like, and we all do that and we think so good about doing that. That understanding itself is like so important. I don't know what I have done in my life. I just had this opportunity to talk to you. I'm really happy today. I don't know if I can sleep tonight. I'm really happy. I don't mind not sleeping. I'm really happy. Recently, there have been a lot of, I have heard talks, I have watched few videos, and many of my friends have spoken about this, about influences from outside planets, beings coming in contact. Even through my work, I have experienced few things like that, not personally, but through others. When I work with people, I have seen them going to planets and explaining what is happening. Has it been more of them happening, or we are coming to understanding more of that now?
They used to, people would come from Delhi and criticize Chinmaya that he wasn't doing workshops or going on the road. And in his later years, he never made any recordings.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked all the publications not to say anything about him.
Yeah.
And he said to this person who came from Delhi, you have no idea what we're doing here in the mountains. in our little commune in Bagash, where we're taking care of 90 million meditators around the world.
Wow.
He also said the forces that destroyed Osho and the commune are still present in the world. So the real communication amongst higher beings is on psychic planes that are unhackable. You have to be evolved enough to tune into it, to know it. I have no personal experience of beings from other planets and stuff like that. Like, I'm at the point where I trust what manifests through me without analyzing it.
Okay.
I'm at the point where I know the difference between what's authentically being here and the old chatter in my head.
Yes.
I've heard Osho say,
Yeah.
like when one person asked him, what happens if we destroy life on Earth? And he said, you'll go to another planet someplace to finish your journey.
Yes.
There's a book called Zen Yoga. I think his name is P.J. Sacker. He is a direct esoteric descendant of Patanjali.
Okay.
And he talks about that Earth is like a middle school, that when you evolve your conscious, he calls them Zen yoga units. When you get enough Zen yoga units, you're evolved enough being to go to a higher level school someplace.
Yes, yes.
I have no personal,
interaction.
kind of what kind of beings exist outside of bodies, what form they have. I know that the Buddhist literature personalizes them in a way that makes people feel like they're real entities. They put names on them and draw them in mandalas and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know what form intelligence and consciousness is beyond the human body.
Okay.
But I trust that we're not alone in the universe and that we're not anywhere near as important as we imagine we are.
Oh, that's disappointing.
And especially since this experience with COVID.
Yes.
I realized my whole ego was crystallized around being a do-gooder, a teacher, healer, that it's not my job to worry about fixing it. If I have any part in it, it'll come to me.
Oh, it's so important not to feel a do-gooder. I'm going to fix it.
Yeah.
It hit me somewhere, I don't know where, but it really touched me somewhere, because we all somehow become that. I'm going to fix the problems of the world. I'm going to help everybody. Oh.
But at least in the model that he put out in Heart Sutra number 5, where he talks about the 8 levels of ego, the last level before you become nothing is what you're talking about. He calls it appropriate striving. And you've seen so many teachers and preachers and do-gooders stuck at that level.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's so easy to get stuck there.
What you've got, when you get to that level, you got lots of psychic powers usually and a lot of charisma, and people tell you how great you are and stuff like that. So it's very tempting.
Yeah. So to see through that or stand away from it and let it go, not to get sucked into that, is very difficult, unless We have somebody poking us and saying like, yes, keep moving, keep moving. Somebody waking us up with a slap or something is what we all need. So when you said that, it really told me like, yes, I cannot, yeah, exactly. I was like, whoa, yes, that's so needed. So beautiful.
One of, and this is something I just has come to me. I haven't read about it or heard it.
Please.
Is part of what's happening in the planet now,
Mm-hmm.
in the letting go of the past and being in the moment, is that people's split between the inner male and female is coming together. So, like this big conflict between many Indian sannyasins and the OIF that's polarized as you're not living out Osho's vision right, and you're trying to sell Osho and stuff. What I see there at the deepest level is the Indian sannyasins are gradually allowing their inner male energy to manifest.
Yes.
That the whole Indian culture allows the inner female, the receptivity,
Mm-hmm.
but suppresses the inner male. So,
Yeah.
like, it's
Yes.
all about devotion and surrender, and the guru will do the work. Whereas the Westerners are stuck in repressing the inner female.
Yeah.
All of Western culture says be in the male hierarchy. God's first, then the priest, then you. And
Mm-hmm.
so, like, the guys in OIF are acting like we know because we've been delegated to know. So
Mm-hmm.
we're in charge. You obey orders.
Yeah.
And I see this conflict as part of their inner evolution, that they're not watching on the inside what's happening to them. They're trying to make a fight of it on the outside. To me, it's what I hope they transcend it, because to me, Osho needs more exposure to the world. I don't hear anybody saying Osho is as available today as he was when he was in the body.
Oh, yeah.
We're all carrying some of the transmission, some of the energy. Let's work together and let's make his discourses as widely available as possible, because that's his main method. You know, I don't see people putting energy into that.
Mm-hmm.
The OIF to me is making him into a self-help guru. If you look at the publications they've made and all, it's like, if you've got this problem, do that. They're having him as a source of advice, but they're downplaying the mystery that that's just the beginning. That the real thing is the amazing transmission, the attunement to be one with Osho now. And I think the Indians are more in tune with that in their tradition, that's why they want to preserve the Buddha field.
Yes, yes.
Because the Buddha field really is a mysterious, pulsating, transmitting station.
Yes. Yeah.
But this is about as much fighting as I feel like doing, is putting out my view. You know, I don't want to call names or go to courts or stuff. That's just not where I'm at.
No. No, it's making things more complicated by doing that. So, I don't want to stop talking to you now because it's, I don't know, I have been blessed today. It's such a wonderful situation or time for me. But I also have to value your time. You are in the middle of the day. Maybe I will put this out probably in a month or so. This will be published. Then will you be okay if we can do a part 2 of this? I will approach you and we can do a second part to you.
Sure.
Oh, that's so wonderful. That's so wonderful. And I just want to say this to you.
Mere dil khushi hai.
Oh my God. Yes, that spontaneous childlike quality you have is like amazing. I just want to thank you so much.
To see more inner journeys, please like, share, and subscribe. Press the bell icon to get notifications.